Hey everybody, Tom Marks, PC editor with IGN, here with Richard Garfield, designer of Artifact, creator of Magic the Gathering. How are you?
Doing good.
So we're going to jump into a draft for Artifact. And this is the first time you guys have shown this off so far.
Yes.
Cool, so let's jump in and we can start kind of going through some of the strategy behind the actual draft. If you want to see the full game, you can also go to another video where we're playing the whole match with the deck we're about to draft, but let's jump into it.
Okay. Okay, so you draft, you're going to get a pack of cards, just as if you open them, and you have a hero and a bunch of cards and then some equipment. And so each round you pick 2 cards.
Okay, so you pick 2 cards and there's always going to be a hero in the pack?
The packs always come with a hero, and everybody's always, for each pack drafted, they're guaranteed a hero.
Gotcha.
So if you don't pick this hero, then eventually you'll get passed a pack with another hero. Okay. Perhaps immediately, and if you reject that, you'll get another chance. But you will definitely get 1 hero for every pack.
All right, and so we're going to jump in. We're going to pick 2 cards out of this 1 pack, and it'll be 5 packs total?
Yes, that's right. Okay.
So what is your starting out strategy when you're jumping into a draft with this? Do you go color? Do you look for heroes first, items? What do you think about here?
I first look at heroes.
Okay.
I like to make sure that I get a good set of heroes if I can, because they're such a strong basis of the game.
And this guy's Ursa.
Yeah, and
that's Ursa's signature card?
That's his signature card. So you're
cool.
gonna. So if you pick Ursa, you will get 3 of these in the pack, or in your final deck, and so then I also tend to look for key cards, like ones that I know work well, and if I pick a bunch in a particular color, then later on I will look for heroes to support that.
Gotcha.
And equipment I usually don't pay as much attention to, although there's some very interesting equipment, but usually I pick those in the middle of the pack. So I think I'm going to start here with red because it's a nice, easy way to go. Well, actually, maybe I'll pass up on this hero, and that way we'll be able to see another one come our way. Perhaps you'd like to make the decision. Is there anything that jumps out for you?
I mean, the Thunderhide Alpha was always one that jumped at me just because it's a big, beefy thing.
I think that's, I love Thunderhide Alpha and would probably take it.
All right, and this is also in this draft format, you are going to overdraft, right? You're going to have more cards than you will have in your final deck.
That's correct.
Okay, so let's go Thunderhide Alpha, and I'll trust you on the other one because you have played a little bit more of this game than me.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go for 2 green, and we'll just try to pick up a green later.
All right. And the key thing here is drafting colors early is maybe a little bit risky because if you don't find heroes to support those colors.
Well, you do have generic heroes that you can always take at the end.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you happen to get no heroes, which the way I draft isn't going to happen, then you could always put in the freely available heroes. Not as good, but they're better than not playing any cards.
Okay.
So here we don't have another hero,
right.
But we will get another hero eventually in this pack because we passed up our first one.
And that means that the pack you're looking at right now, somebody else in the world has picked that hero out of that pack.
That's correct. And so the pack we just drafted went on a pile somewhere, and somebody will get that pack eventually. So they'll get the opportunity to take the hero that we just passed up.
But you're not drafting directly against other people who are all getting the same exact packs. Your pack that you just drafted is now going into the cloud, and someone else somewhere else will get that one.
It's asynchronous, but not against a particular opponent.
Right.
So here, cards that I like this guy, the Arms Master, because I just tend to like creeps. This Vandal's quite good. She's quite good.
Well, I was eyeing the Vandal as well, so maybe we should go that way. I don't know color combinations yet, though.
Okay, well, this one's quite good, so maybe we should just double down on black.
Okay, green-black, I'm fine with that.
We'll see whether our heroes support that at the end, but so this is fine for green, and these ones are often a little bit hard to work with. because you have to, then you're committing, if you're going to use this, commit to getting a lot of black cards, which is fine. You can do that in a draft, but since we don't really know where we're going yet, I would definitely pick this. And well, why don't you take the second pick?
So
and oftentimes, you know, it's like when you get to this point, there might not be anything that's going to be super important.
Right, the packs thin a little bit quicker than other games. The broadsword.
This one being a cantrip is kind of nice. You get to draw a card after you play it.
Right. Actually, I do like that card too, just because from what I've seen, and again, I haven't played with the full card pool yet, but it seems like there are some improvements out there that if you can't answer them would be very, very powerful. So I'm happy to go with the smash their defenses.
And broadsword would be at the end you'll just like the generic heroes. There's also generic equipment.
Gotcha.
So you won't have any, and some of that generic equipment is actually quite good.
So you could go with full in only drafting spells, and you would still be able to build a full deck.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you'll be forced to take the heroes, but if you didn't like those heroes, you could always do the generics in any color you like. So we've got some green here. Summoning melee creeps is always good. 2 damage to each enemies. That's fine. This is another cantrip. It only does 2 damage to the tower, but the fact that it's a cantrip and you get initiative is pretty good.
Right.
You know, none of these are great. They don't line up with our colors, but they're all, you know, the blue ones in particular are playable. So.
How do you like Blade of the Vigil? Because Blade of the Vigil is one of the cards that I've played with a bit, and it's a card I've liked.
It's pretty good.
I'd grab one of those then. And then probably I'd go with the Tower Barrage, because that seemed like another good one that just is kind of universally get some damage down on people.
Sounds good.
As a question, we've drafted a lot of creeps so far. So going into a draft like this, do you have a number in mind in terms of like how many creeps you want compared to spells or anything like that?
I don't. I'm sure that as people develop their science, they'll have a number they're targeted. But if you're going into green, for example, you're going to end up with more because that's one of the power points of that color.
Right. So we're getting a little thinner now.
Yeah. So these are going to. This one is kind of fun, and one for me. You get to steal a piece of equipment from somebody. I love that one. This one, giving 2 random cards 2 locks, that puts it out of play for a couple turns. So it's kind of like you have to discard it for 2 turns.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters.
Well, I want to go for buying time then, because the lock is not a mechanic I've seen yet.
Okay. And then we're forced to take this. So we end up with a blue hero and Ravenous Mask.
And what does Outworld Devourer do? What's the cards that come with him?
Let's see. Astral Imprisonment. Stun a unit this round. Give that unit damage immunity for that round. Round. So you know that'll be that can be useful for shutting down a hero. You won't be able to destroy them, but you can keep them from casting anything.
Or potentially it could protect one of your own guys.
That's correct. Yeah.
Cool. So now we move on to our second pack. So we got 4 more of these to go.
Okay. So our colors right now are pretty much all over the map, but the ones we really made top picks on were red and black and green. So I think picking up a hero to support that's good.
Yeah.
Trebuchet is very good.
Yeah, Trebuchet was one of my favorites as well, so I feel like we should just go with that guy.
That sounds good. Okay, now we won't be, if we're offered another hero in this pack, it'll be grayed out because we're not allowed to pick a second hero.
Gotcha. So the only way you're not going to use generic heroes is if you pick 1 hero in each of your packs. Otherwise, you're only going to have fewer, right? Because you're only allowed to pick 1 per.
You're guaranteed 1 hero in each pack.
Right.
So the only reason you would use a generic is if you happen to pick ones in colors you don't want.
Gotcha. Okay. I see.
Which may be the case for our blue, right? We don't know if we're, like if we pick up some really good blue ones, we haven't committed to these colors so heavily that that wouldn't be a good thing to change to.
Right. The only green here, I feel like we want to start thinking about maybe trying to buff up the green a little bit, but.
Yeah, you can certainly also look seriously at blue to see, like this summon 3 melee creeps is quite good.
Oh, yeah.
And then we could support our blue hero. The Assassin's Apprentice is good.
Choose a combat target. Yeah, Assassin's Apprentice. I think Assassin's Apprentice Dimension Portal is not a bad pick for me.
Okay.
I'm sure people are just tearing us apart in comments right now, but they'll do that.
Probably. I like to draft. I draft more fun decks. So
I like that philosophy.
So, in particular, when you're learning a game, it's nice to experiment with the different options available to you.
Especially in my case, when I haven't even seen half of these cards. So there you go. All right, so we've got a lot of black options here. It feels like we're getting into the black as more of a main color here.
Yeah.
How many colors do you usually see draft decks go with?
Well, it's hard. You can draft one color, but it's not easy to do.
Okay.
2 colors is pretty typical. Some people go 3. So
gotcha.
Usually I end up with 2 colors.
Well, I like Escape Route as a card. That seems like it's basically a town portal, right? But as an improvement.
Okay.
Anything else jump out at you here? Lightning Strike always seemed like good, just a little bit of reach, but I don't know if that's overly strong.
I think it's a good one. So let's go there.
Another lock card in Lost in Time.
That's yeah.
It feels like lock maybe is like maybe not one of the types of effects you want to go full into, because if you start doubling up on locks, do the locks stack?
They do stack.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, the more you get, the better. But it's hard to get enough to make it worth it. But still, it's fun. So so it is something I would consider exploring.
Arcane Censure doesn't seem
This
bad.
one doesn't really work.
Yeah, I was going to say Lodestone.
Draft.
Lodestone is a little bit of a risky thing. That feels like you need to know more what the decks you're playing against are going to look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah, this is probably not going to end up playing at least one of those. But.
Well, that's a good news about having more than we need, right? Both towers have -2 mana. Oh my. Really slowing things down with the anti-ramp. This feels like one of those times where we kind of don't have a lot to choose from. That will really be useful. Collateral damage, though, is not a terrible pickup.
Yeah.
And another black hero
this
popping
is
up. Sniper and insta-pick.
Yeah.
Why?
Especially we're in black.
Right.
So that supports the color that we've wanted to go into. And it's his special ability is good, which with direct damage, and then his include card, the Assassinate, is really nice for being able to get cross lane control.
I imagine really strong, kind of broad, flexible removal like that is useful in a draft format as well.
Yeah.
Aghanim's Sanctum. This isn't. I'm not saying we should pick it, but this is a card that I saw, and when you guys revealed it, just seemed like. Wouldn't that break the game?
You can get a lot of very big card play when you can fully restore your tower's mana each time. So that is fine,
we could also just maybe go for an item here too, in case, unless it's too early for that still in your eyes.
Well, both these items are pretty good. The Red Mist Maul is quite good. This one, of course, increases its attack every turn, so if you get it out early, it's nice. But yeah, you want a Red Mist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for that. And you can have 9 items in your item deck. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So
you can have a minimum of 9.
Minimum of 9.
So you can have as many as you like.
Right.
You just get a little less consistency, but
of course. So the Treant Protector is grayed out because we already took the Sniper.
That's right.
Right.
So with black, the Vandal's quite good. Direct damage to another unit is good. This one also gives you initiative, which can be useful. Condemning a creep. So all those black cards are good.
Yeah, I feel like Slay is probably a good one to pick up. And then give allies damage immunity this round. How much of this game? Because it's. Playing creeps doesn't feel like playing minions or creatures in some other games where, like, is consistency of having 2 Ogledy Vandals, is that really something to value or not? If we took this second one.
Yes, yeah.
That's
because
worth
you're
it?
able to double up the more you can have doing direct damage to the enemy tower is good. It's always nice to get extra presence on the board. So, so yeah, I would, from here, I would definitely take one of those 2, and probably I would lean this way.
All right.
Oh,
the Skywrath Mage grayed out for us.
Thunderstorm is quite nice.
Deal 4 damage to each enemy.
We are probably going blue at this point.
Yeah, that's the kind of upgraded of the, what was it, the Tower Barrage?
Yeah, and then if we were going with green, the Rejuvenator is quite good. We've still got some good green, but we don't have a green hero yet, so it's not clear we're going there. Unsupervised artillery can work.
It is interesting with the heroes, the fact that you can add a hero of any color at the end of this. It makes it feel a little bit more flexible. The game feels a little bit more flexible than maybe some other draft modes, where once you're going down a color, you have to totally stick with that color.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of ways this could go at this point. So I would take this. I also like ventriloquy. I like that gives a lot of control.
Yeah, ventriloquy looks good to me, especially because we've been going hard into black a little bit. So unsupervised artillery I think is good, but probably the ventriloquy is just to balance things out a little more.
That sounds great. Oh, well,
another
looks like
Skywrath Mage.
Oh my God, double Thunder. Thunderhide. Oh, and drawing 2 cards is great.
Yeah, definitely Foresight.
And then, yeah, I mean, we could end up with some green too.
So Thunderhide pack, we already do have another huge guy, right?
Yeah.
He costs 9, was that right? Yeah, the Thunderhide Alpha.
Yeah, well, let's
Just get more big stuff. I'm for it.
I don't know if we'll end up playing green, but...
so we already have a Dimension Portal and a Trebuchets.
Dimensional Portal, I think, again, more creeps you can get. You're never going to be disappointed by them. And Trebuchets, yeah.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah. Oh, this is quite good, too.
Deal damage to a unit in any lane.
Yeah. The cross lane is more valuable in like these limited formats because things aren't as consistent, and you being able to just put damage into any lane like that is quite good.
Right.
So I could go with either of those. I could or skip the it's like any 2 of those 3 I'm happy with.
I think I'd go with the Dimensional Portal and the Trebuchets because the Dimensional Portal's cool, and the Trebuchets kind of goes into the strategy where we have a lot of direct tower damage right now.
Okay. So,
Winter Wyvern, man, we're getting a lot of black heroes right now.
Yeah, we are.
That seems pretty lucky with what we've been drafting.
Yeah, no, that will work well. And we got another Vandal.
Third Vandal.
Oh, yeah. I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah. There's also draw 2 cards but deal 2 damage to all allies in the lane if we want a little more card draw.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to use. I think
okay.
So. I would probably. Yeah, the Vandal seems good.
Cool. And what does the Winter Wyvern do? So what's the ability there in the signature spell?
The activated ability.
Move the Winter Wyvern to an empty combat position, give +4 attack. So that's interesting. It gives a little more flexibility in moving around as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Winter's Curse, I remember this one, where it makes somebody basically have 0 attack and then makes its allies beat up on it, which is a pretty brutal thing.
Yeah.
And also very thematic to the Winter Wyvern in Dota as well, that ability.
Okay.
All right, so a little bit less. We could get another Foresight. Steam Cannon.
He's really nice.
Steam Cannon is a card I got destroyed by in one of the matches I did play.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Steam Cannon Foresight I'd be happy with.
Okay. I think that's reasonable. Lightning Strike's good. I don't mind that. Got some more Trebuchet. Oh, Untested Grunts is good.
We already took the other Trebuchet, right? So we have 2 Trebuchets right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like Lightning Strike because, again, I think this strategy of some sort of semblance of dealing direct tower damage.
Yeah.
Do you like the Untested Grunt, or do you think we have a lot of...
There's no upper bound for me.
Great. Then let's go that way.
Okay.
Seems to be your style, putting lots of dudes down.
The golden ticket, that is something you pretty much have to draw, have to use because I'm driving.
Is this a favorite of yours?
It is. It's less appealing than it used to be because the price has gone up, but it can give you excellent draws.
Get a random item from the secret shop.
Oh yeah.
So you just spend 9 mana or 9 gold, and you just get something.
You get something that costs 25. It's amazing.
Or something that costs 1.
Could happen. It has happened before. Well,
all right. I'll trust you on that one.
Okay.
Bitter enemies. After the combat phase, remove a charge from bitter enemies. Before the action phase, if there are 0 charges, deal 6 damage to both towers.
Yeah, this one is...
So after 3 turns, it just keeps
starts
hitting
grinding
towers.
down the towers. That's a very tough one to use.
Yeah,
but it's very powerful if used correctly, but I don't have confidence in being able to use it correctly.
I'm fine with another Ventriloquy, or if you want to try to buff up the green, we could go for the Vul Martyr. I'll trust you on this one.
Yeah, sure. In case we pick green for our last. Okay, Book of the Dead's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get Book of the Dead and summon a melee creep into any lane. Is that seems so the difference, because it's only one melee creep instead of 3, and it's only 1 less mana, but it can go in any lane compared to Dimensional Portal. That's kind of, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the mana difference there.
Yeah. It's the Dimensional Portal, right, is much more valuable. It gets to all the lanes, but
right.
Yeah, it does cost 1 more.
Okay.
But
all right, I'm good with that. And then we have to pick these. Got a nice barbed mail, so
okay.
we're not going to go only.
And this
generic
is
items.
our last pack.
Okay.
And we do have our green hero if we
if we
wanted it. We could go for a 3-color deck.
+3 attack and cleave. And what was his ability?
His ability is his stats.
All right. So we can go with Magnus. I like that idea, although I don't know what the generic heroes look like, so I'm going to have to trust you on that one as well. But again, you made the game, so I very much do trust you on it. The Oath. You cannot play spells or creeps while this is active in the lane. If there's an allied black hero in this lane, allies have +4 attack.
Yeah,
so you can't play any cards, or besides items.
Yeah.
But all of your guys are just stronger.
That's right. This one is dangerous. It can be misplayed, but it can bring down a tower like nobody's business.
Well, I'm fine with that. That sounds fun to me.
Okay. So the other thing we could do is pass on him and hope for a blue hero and try to get it down to 2 colors.
Oh.
I'm happy to try for green go for 3 colors. That is fine.
Are we?
We're not committed to it. We could always substitute in a wild blue one at the end. But if we're going to do that anyway, we may as well look for a blue hero also.
I was going to ask. So because we have a blue hero, we are not restricted from taking another blue hero?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I meant the generic guys at the end.
Yeah. Of course, and we might actually go black-green also.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I kind of lost track of how much green we have. Not a whole lot, but
let's do this and see where we end up.
Cool.
Gank is great.
Yeah, Gank is. I'm happy with Gank because that was a card I've seen previously as well. I feel like Cunning Plan is actually. I had success with that in some of the demo games that I did, but I don't know its overall value. Like you said, it cycles as well, which is always nice in cheap cards like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
That third trebuchets?
keep them coming. Yeah.
The Keenfolk Musket was also one I was going to look at.
I like that.
It's
I like
every
anything
other
where you're able
turn.
to pick off units, stray units.
Yeah.
It's nice, and the plate isn't bad. But we could just pile up on the trebuchets too.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Like I said, Trebuchet seemed like a powerful card, if not answered. We could go for another Foresight if we want a little more card draw. We could do the Furline Mantle, although that just seems like a bunch of health, right? Not hugely expensive. That's one of the things I'm still trying to get a sense of is how much gold is a lot of gold is still a question that I just don't know from inexperience.
Yeah, I think for me, intuitively, 7 is sort of the upper limit of what a cheap card is. After that, it starts getting expensive. But yeah, a Furline Mantle's fine. And Foresight is, I think we can. Our curve right now, we've got a lot of cheap cards, so I think we'll be emptying our hand.
Cool. Another deal 2 damage to the enemy tower for Arcane Assault. Do we have one of those actually, or did we pass it up before?
I think we passed it up.
Oh, then I think probably we should grab that.
Okay.
And then I think we passed up. No, we did get an Arcane Censure, so that would be the second one there. I feel like that's probably the right place because we're not going red, and you said Diabolic Revelation is hard.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was our 5th pack.
Yep.
So now we have 60 cards.
Yep.
We managed to get 5 heroes. So
we did, and we're not. If we want to play all our heroes, we'll be playing with a 3-color deck.
Okay.
But we're not obligated to do that. We can sort of see how it pans out. So if we go here to heroes, these are all the heroes available to us, and you can see here we've got 3 of Jamoy the Wise because he's the hero that's always available.
Gotcha.
And similarly with Debbie the Cunning and so forth. So we can pick 2 or 3 colors with the draft we've made reasonably.
Okay, and so now we're going into the process of kind of culling it out. What is the minimum number of cards you can have in your deck for this?
You can have, in the deck you have 40 cards.
Okay, so it is a full deck?
Right,
okay.
but your heroes bring in 15.
Right.
Right, so you're only adding 25 cards.
But this isn't a smaller deck than the normal constructed formats?
No.
Okay.
And you can play with more, which
of
I
course.
usually do because I can't make my good decisions about what to call.
All right.
So let's see. Of these guys, we definitely we probably want to play all our black.
Right, Bloodseeker, Sniper, and Winter Wyvern.
Yeah.
And then the question is, we did draft it, so we drafted a lot of blue.
I'm putting them up here. We're not, this tells you when they're going to come out. And
right.
I haven't decided this yet, but right now these guys are all coming out the first round, which is definitely not what we want because we want to have a mixture of colors.
Yeah. So the question here is if we want to go 2 blue, 2 green, or 1 blue, 1 green. That's kind of the decision.
That's right.
Because we probably don't want to go a 4th black.
Yeah, and you know, I'm kind of keen on running a $3 color deck. So what do you say?
I like that too.
Okay, so then we'll put the Outworld, Devourer, and Magnus. Now we want to put Magnus out in the first round. Mm-hmm. He's
big and beefy.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a long time before he can cast anything because our green stuff is really expensive, but it's going to be fun when it lands. And you know, we've got a lot of cheap blue stuff too, so let's get this guy out too early. And so we'll get all 3 of our colors on the board, and then follow it up with 2 black, and then we'll see, you know, where things go.
And the order of those doesn't matter. They're distributed to random lanes.
That's right.
One in each lane, that is. But we know
these
they're
3
coming
are
out
dropped
first.
randomly at first,
Cool.
and then we know second round we'll drop Sniper, and third round we'll drop Winter Wyvern.
Cool. And now we start going to the actual cards.
Yeah. Now I usually go to items next because just because it's easy usually. And you can see here, as I said, you do have some free ones. The Traveler's Cloak, you've got 3 of. The Short Sword, there's 3 of, and the Leather Armor, there's 3 of. So there's enough there for you to always field your equipment. And something I almost always do is 3 Traveler's Cloaks. They're amazing. They're cheap. They work well. And then something I always do is all my golden tickets. This time we've only got 1.
Is that considered a bad draft for you? Only 1 golden ticket?
I like more.
Is there incentive here? Like, you're not just going all in with all of the items you drafted. You don't necessarily want to just say these are always going to be better than the generic stuff.
No. With the heroes, that's usually true. The hero you choose is going to be better than the generic ones.
Okay.
But with the items, the generic ones are just fine. They're cheap, but they're fine. In fact, you know, it's like if you didn't have the option of getting Traveler's Cloak here for free at the end all the time, if it came up, I would pick it sometime.
Oh wow!
You know, it's like so it's a really good card.
So we've got space for 3 more now.
Yeah, yeah. I put over here the ones that I think are really good. I think the fur-lined mantle is a pretty good call.
And also part of this to consider is that currently we have no, armor, right? No armor cards.
That's right.
And so each hero can equip a weapon, an armor, and an item.
That's right.
So since we don't have any armor, like if we want more than 1 armor in our deck, we're going to have to take leather armor because we've only drafted the barbed mail.
That's right. That's right. So we've got now also the secret shop, the one on the left. Since that gives you whatever you know, it's like anything in the game, you can always cover your holes there. You know,
so we don't need any armor because we have the golden ticket.
The golden ticket will handle all our armor.
Okay,
and the secret shop. Yeah, we can give them some. So what do we need? We've got here's 8. We've got 1 more. You want to pick one?
I'm gonna keep going with that blade, the Blade of the Vigil. Because I liked it.
That sounds good. Okay. So now we go to the main deck.
And we could have done this in any order, right? We could have gone cards first.
This is the way I like to go: heroes, items, then cards. But that's not always going to be the best, and you know you can do them in any order you like.
Cool.
So here we can filter out the red.
Okay.
And you can see this. In fact, let's begin just by looking at our black because the bulk of our deck is black right now.
Right.
So let's get our best black cards out.
Steam cannon for sure, yeah.
Sister. This one is, like I always like the creatures, but that one's a little hard to use, so we'll put them out a little later.
And you go, are you intentionally going more expensive down? Is that kind of the strategy? Or?
No. I just began at the bottom.
Gotcha.
But yeah, afterwards might want to do some balancing for costs. The Oath, I think, is terrific. Slay is terrific. The creatures are great.
And it's a max of 3 cards, correct? Or 3 copies of a card?
Not in a draft. You can in constructed you have a max of 3, but when you're drafting, you can have as many as you like.
So if we drafted a bunch of trebuchets, we could have just put all of the trebuchets in. Wow.
Yeah.
Not that that would have maybe been a good idea, but it would have been physically possible.
That's true. Okay.
So right now we've got 28 cards in our deck. Is that correct? Up in the right, it says?
Yeah.
So we have to put at least 12 more in, but we could put as many more as we want in.
That's right.
Okay.
So let's leave it there for now and go take a look at green. I really once we drafted these big guys, there was no way I wasn't going to let us go into green. So let's.
Both the Thunderhides?
Oh yeah.
Like it. I like it.
Satyr, so he can do something before we lose the game because it's too expensive.
I like that optimism.
Yeah.
Really. And then we're looking at our blues now.
Our blues.
We have some good blues too.
A lot of good blues. What do we got left? We got 8 cards.
Yeah.
Thunderstorm, I like.
Tower Barrage, I think, was the other one we were looking at, right? And then.
Yeah.
How much do you like the lightning strikes? I was going to say.
They're much better than. If you think of it as analogous to damage to the head in Magic, you might not think it is as valuable as it actually is. It's actually quite good.
And the Foresights too were the other ones that we were keen on drawing.
Sure. Let's pack those up. So, Dimensional Portals, 3 colors. These are good. I'm afraid to look too much more because we're already up to 41.
Right.
I hate culling, but I don't mind not looking ahead. So
I think N1 for me was a card you mentioned was at least fun. Maybe we don't want to get it. But...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, let's put that in too.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm happy with a 42 card. I feel like that's showing good restraint.
Okay. Yeah. No, for me that's a great restraint.
All right.
Okay.
So now we have to name it. Is that right? We get to name our deck. I don't know what I would call this.
What do we hit? Register now?
Okay. So we hit register. All right.
Okay.
And so now we're going to go into an actual match. So if you want to see the match, we have another video with the full match of this drafted deck. We also have an explainer on how to play Artifact if you'd like to jump into that first in case you don't know what's going on. And yeah, we'll be right back with that. Stick around at IGN.